everyone, and welcome to my channel Starchild Tarot. My name is Sinthiya Saya, and this is your reading of what message you need to hear. So there is going to be a message here that is especially for you, and there is 4 decks for you to choose from. So the first pile that we have is the Witch's Tarot deck, and this is pile number 1. The second one is the Starchild Tarot deck, and this is pile number 2. We have the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, and that is pile number 3. And we have the Edgar Allan Poe deck, and that's pile number 4. So choose the pile you are most drawn to. Timestamps are below. Let's head over into your reading. Hi there, pile 1. This is for those who chose the Witch's Tarot, and this is the message you need to hear from the universe. What message do you need to hear, pile number 1? We have the 4 of Wands. What message does pile number 1 need to hear? We have the 5 of Swords. We also have the Emperor. I usually do 3, but I feel quite drawn to pull out another one, so that's what I'm going to do. What message does pile number 1 need to hear? Okay, and we have the Queen of Cups. Oh, I do hope that's all straight. Okay. Alright, can I have a clarifier for the 4 of Wands, pile number 1? The message pile number 1 needs to hear. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. Okay, we have the Tower, and we have the Chariot. Okay, pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. This is a very interesting situation that I am kind of picking up on. I feel like there is an individual, I think, who might be on your mind, or someone from your past, and I do feel like this person has been thinking about you quite a lot. Okay, I'm just going to take that ding as a, okay, yes, that is it. Right. So I do feel like there is an individual, and this person could be a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn energy, but doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be in their sun, moon, or rising as well. But I'm going to describe how this person would be. I do feel like this person is very much financially focused, like they're very much focused on making it or making their money. And this is the person I'm describing in the past. This person in the past, I do feel was very career focused, work driven, may have been like a bit of a workaholic. And I do feel like literally all they valued, and I know this sounds, it's actually not bad. It's not bad to actually value money, but I do feel like this person obviously puts a lot of value in money. So this person could very much be into stocks, or the stock exchange market, or could be like in trading. Okay, I'm going to take that ding as a yes. This person knows how to do a lot of like investments. I feel like maybe in the beginning you thought this person definitely had a lot of value, or it was definitely some individual who you thought you could have had like a really solid, loving family foundation with. But I feel like it didn't necessarily work out. There was a lot of, I don't want to say like self-sabotage, that's not what really happened. But I do feel like there was some sort of drifting apart from this person, or this person may have self-sabotaged themselves. Like, it feels like this person may have been a little bit immature when it came to kind of emotions and feelings, and they're not necessarily good with that. it feels like also this person, when you kind of met them, they may not have necessarily been I mean, okay, I'm just gonna let my phone ding if it needs to. I do feel like this individual is basically, I think, I feel like they were definitely superficial. I'm just thinking that all these dings are just confirmations that everything I'm saying is true. I do feel like this person was very much superficial, or everything has to be really surface level with them. And that's because it's almost like they still have, they may have not necessarily come from wealth or prosperity. So there's a lot of like, wanting to be someone, that kind of energy of like, I need to prove myself, or I need to be someone. And they rather have chosen an individual who, kind of was more or less surface level, whereas I feel like you may have felt like you had some genuine feelings for this particular individual. And this is someone just, again, from your past. I feel like it, like a huge past. But now they're obviously kind of, I feel like they're looking at you differently. But I also feel like for you probably have moved on. And because when I say this is definitely an individual from your past, like I can see here that you have moved on. I can see that you have also probably moved on with someone who is financially stable and secure. I feel like this person's kind of secure in themselves a little bit. Like the Emperor is an individual who has mastered all their abundance, the emotions, they've mastered taking action, they've mastered communication. They're someone who is incredibly well respected where they are, and they could be very much in a high position, or they could be just someone who's a bit of a leader, or someone in a leader position, but it is someone who has reached a level of security within themselves, and a lot of happiness. And I feel like you're very, like, this person I feel like does dote on you and does care about you, like, but in a more like, this is a genuine and sincere kind of connection. I feel like this person and how they feel towards you, and it's one of those where I feel this individual, if you want to like settle down, have a family, or however you want to be in the long term, but this is the person who sees that future with you. And I feel like the universe is more or less saying, like, you want to be with this person who does, I feel like you also have genuine, sincere affection and intention towards this other individual who does make you feel good. It does make you feel safe in this connection. I feel like this person also takes you traveling, or will take you traveling, I hear. It's very interesting because I feel like this individual, I feel like this person kind of sees you as like some treasure. Like they see you as something that's this beautiful, glorious, like out of this world, ethereal like being. You could be someone who's very intuitive, by the way. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But if not, I'm just going to kind of describe like the characteristics here, that you could be someone very intuitive or quite psychic. You could be a healer, you could be a psychic yourself, and you're someone who has such strong kind of psychic antennas, if you will, that you can pick up on other people's energy. So if someone is thinking about you, I feel like you would instantly know, because you have that kind of psychic gift. I feel like you are also an individual who's very empathic. So you do feel, I feel like you also have a very maternal instinct in you. You have very motherly kind of energy about you. And I feel like that's probably why, as I said, it feels like this individual feels like they're quite a strong masculine, and you could be very much this very ethereal, feminine, light grace figure in their life, and they truly appreciate that about you. Whereas I really kind of feel like this other person didn't necessarily do that. This person could have been sort of someone who sort of would have been like, what do you bring to the table? Like, you prove your value kind of thing. And that's not necessarily a good thing. I always kind of say, like, if someone turns around and says, what do you bring to the table? What value do you have? It's almost like shut the door, run towards the exit, never go near them, because they're an individual who is clearly got some sort of insecurity, and it stems from a place of, their constant need to prove themselves worthy. And what they end up doing is that they project that onto other individuals, including individuals that they would be thinking about in terms of a relationship. Okay, so I don't feel like that was something that was in alignment with you, because you are just this very beautiful, graceful, loving, kind, wonderful individual. You could be someone who lives by the ocean, not necessarily, or you have a huge draw to the ocean. I feel like there's something with the water that's very therapeutic for you. But as I said, it feels like the person that you've moved on with, or that you are currently with, or that is going to be in this picture, if they haven't actually already come, this is going to be an individual who will literally see you and will just, to put it quite frankly, is like marry you and have children with you, like instantly, because they'll just immediately see you as the mother or the father of their children. So it's just one of those kind of connections, and I feel like this is going to be a connection that does make you feel very safe and secure. But obviously the message here is kind of very interesting. It feels like I said that this person may have been popping in and out of your head a few times. And it feels like, like I said, this individual may have been someone like, what do you bring to the table? And they may have chosen a partner based off that as well. We have the Queen of Wands here, and this is a definitely powerful, kind of fiery, entrepreneurial type of woman who is she's like a real go-getter, and it's almost like you could try and tear her down, she'll get up and she'll go again. So very, very fiery. She would be someone who is very much, I don't want to say more in her masculine energy, because I don't want to go into that, but there's definitely a passionate sort of fire that doesn't stop this individual from getting what they want. Okay. And they could like own a cat as well. They could be like an Aries, Leo, Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising, but not necessarily. It's just the characteristics of this individual is very much the I would say not necessarily kind of the same as like the Queen of Cups. Like the Queen of Wands is an individual who's just a very fiery, passionate go-getter, doesn't take no for an answer, everything is always a yes. You can kind of imagine those like CEO kind of powerhouse women, that kind of energy. And it feels very interesting, because it feels like whatever this person was like throwing at her, it was almost, or her, could be him or her, whatever this individual in the past was throwing at this particular individual, it was almost like kind of like slapping them away, like just being like, yeah, whatever, like and I think this individual may have just liked the chase. But I am seeing the Tower and the Chariot, and I think that the reason why this individual has probably been thinking about you lately, or thinking about you a lot lately, or has been dropping in your mind a lot lately, is because this connection is perhaps not necessarily aligning as well as they had initially thought. And you know, this person has obviously had thoughts about you of coming forward or saying something. But I do feel like you are an individual who is very secure where you are. So if you want to obviously turn down the like person coming back, you can do. It's very easy. I kind of do it all the time because I'm just like, you know, I just don't really want any of my exes or blasts from the past coming back. But whenever they decide to like have a little pop up and say hello in my intuitive world, I just kind of say to them, no, like, please don't come back. Thank you. Goodbye. Shut the door. Okay. And you can do that. You can do that in like the 5D realm. You kind of meditate. You just see them and you say, no, please don't come and reach out to me. Thank you. I'm very happy where I am. Goodbye. And they get the message. They like, you can speak to individuals. I feel like always in the 5D realm, you can always tell their higher selves, you know, whatever you want, and they will get the download. They will get the download, and, you know, they receive those messages. So I always feel like that's kind of a powerful thing to embrace. So we're going to kind of move into your oracle reading. So yeah, let's do that. Hi there, part one. So this is well, this is your reading, but we're pulling out oracle cards in regards to what message you need to hear from the universe. So yeah. Okay, we have strategy. I'm going to put it here. The message part one needs to hear. The message part one needs to hear. We have rest and rejuvenation. Okay. Oh, I am not putting this straight, am I? I apologize for this. There we go. I think that's kind of straight. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Pile number one, we have daughter value. Okay. Just one more. Oh, okay. I'm going to take this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, there are two things here. We have the happy family. All right, you know what? I'm just going to do this. It was only meant to be pulling out 4 energy oracles, but obviously we had a little bit more just deciding to pop out. This is like, I apologize. I am going to get this straight for you. There we go. We have the thinking man. I'm just going to put this here, and we have the 7th chakra. Okay, so that for me like feels like everything I was kind of confirming in regards to your tarot reading. We also had the daughter romance that kind of flipped upside down. As I said, I feel like there is definitely an individual, the thinking man kind of suggests, and it really does feel like someone is thinking about you, and that is probably why you're receiving those intuitive like messages or those intuitive hits of that person like coming into your thoughts, and you're a bit like, well, why is that happening? And it's, you know, if you are very intuitive, you can always tap in and you'll know, you know, what messages they have for you or what they're thinking, etc. But, you know, we also have the happy family. And like I said, it did feel like you individuals may already be with someone, or you're dating someone, or you're just about to be in this relationship with an individual who, when they see you, like, that is literally how they feel. They just basically feel like you're going to be the person that they want to be with for the rest of their lives. And it's really interesting because even in this happy family message, the happy family picture, there is like a beach and there is water. So I feel like that is definitely something that feels very resonant to you and this other individual who I feel like, you know, does sincerely care and does, you know, love and want to be with you for the long term. Okay. There we do have strategy, rest and rejuvenation, and door to value. Okay, and I feel like this is definitely something to do with the idea, like, you know, as I mentioned, it felt like whoever this individual may have been in the past needs to prove their worth, prove their value. And sometimes a lot of individuals who feel that way will project certain things like that towards other individuals, and it's never personal because it obviously comes from something wounded within them. But when you kind of work out that you are actually just valuable the way that you are, like that was never to be questioned right from the beginning, yeah, it's kind of like recognizing that it's kind of recognizing that you eventually work out when people project it's something to do with them and it never had anything to do with you. And I feel like this particular individual, like I said, if you're with an individual who feels very self-assured, very secure in themselves, and you know they you know they just love being with you for who you are, you're going to naturally kind of align with the fact that you're just valuable the way that you are, and that is never to be questioned. We do have rest and rejuvenation, so I do feel like that is a message for you to kind of lift your spirits up in any way, and whether that means, you know, going and having a hot salt bath, drinking some hot tea, popping the kettle on and getting some hot tea and meditating, you know, it's whatever is going to rejuvenate your spirits and make you feel uplifted. And I feel like that's just a message of self-care towards you. And we do, as I said, have strategy. So strategy here is, I feel like if there is a work situation, a project or something that you are thinking about starting or thinking about restarting or doing again, or something that you feel is going to make you feel, well, you're just going to be valued for who you are, you know, it's putting a plan down and putting that, you know, it's always like you have to kind of write down your goals and then you can just kind of strike them off as you go and as and when. And the more that you do that, the more everything else kind of starts to align. I kind of see it as like a bit of a way to like manifest very quickly. Like when you start to write your goals down and then you achieve them and then you kind of tick them off, you are manifesting. You are manifesting because you're taking action and making sure it gets done. And then what you slowly start to realize is that everything else around you starts to work out. Okay, so we are going to pull out some more oracle cards for you, and then we're going to pull out some Lenormands as well, because I do love that. Okay, prayer. Oh, I love prayer actually. Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to pull out some money move cards. We have vacation. Okay. I think it's time for you to recharge. Look at that. Time for you to vacation, have a vacation, travel, jobs, escape, traveling, getaway, break, freedom, spare time, take time to recharge, rest and rejuvenation. Whatever you have been doing, I think you've been definitely working hard on. You're definitely being called to like have a getaway, go on a vacation, go to the beach. Maybe that's also the message that was definitely going to come across. But, you know. And then we also have connected, social media, online, network, electronics, web-based, accessible. Go as far as you want. I think that's actually really beautiful in so many ways. But yes, because we are connected online, we have social media, we have so many accessible tools all around us. Your ability to create anything or make anything happen is limitless. It's not like in the old days anymore where, you know, you kind of had to go through these huge corporations, You know, it's just that everything can be done online now, you know. Like, what do I mean by that? Maybe, like, you know, if you were someone who was trying to publish a book, you would go the old route of, like, you know, writing out a proposal, trying to find an agent. The agent will try and find a publishing house for your book, and they could easily, like, reject you or take you on. Like, that's the thing about publishing houses, which can be very demoralizing. But now, because we are so connected online, it's like you don't even need to go down those routes anymore. You can literally just self-publish on Amazon. It's really that simple. So the fact that we have so much access online, I think, is just a brilliant thing. And I think the reason why it's come out is because I feel like there is definitely a plan or something in motion in regards to, I don't know, maybe it's starting an online business, or maybe it's starting, you know, your own YouTube channel, or maybe it's, you know, starting something with social media. I think whatever your your goal is, you have it in your mind, it's been there, you're taking action, you're maybe putting a plan down. I think it's definitely something that you know is going to be a door to, like, limitless abundance around you, and I think that that's incredible. Okay. Okay, so let's pull out some love cards for you as well. And then we're going to pull out some angel messages. Actually, no, we're going to pull out some Lenormands and then angel messages. We have happily ever after, and I love that. Okay, there's definitely a confirmation that I think that the person that you're with, or the person that's about to come in, the person that I described who's very much secure in who they are, you know, I feel like that person who's just going to love you for who you are, the very essence of your being, probably, you know, your ability to be so empathetic and loving and kind, and you're someone who can really, like, take care, but in such a soft and genteel kind of way. And I feel like this person absolutely loves and adores you, is willing to kind of give you the whole happily ever after. Okay. And we also have long distance. Okay, so this individual may be someone, whenever I see long distance, it doesn't necessarily mean long distance. This person could be from, like, a very different country. They could be someone that's very much different ethnically. They just could be someone who is very much the opposite to you as well. You could, yeah, see, they live in another location from you, or they could just be from another location from you. But I feel like this person would definitely make the effort. If they are living in a very, like, distant, like, location from you, they would go above and beyond to kind of meet you there, if you know what I mean. But also, I kind of see the long distance card as someone that's just could be different from you or different country from you. Okay. Okay, so let's just pull out some Lenormands. Okay. What message does pile 1 need to hear? Okay. Yeah, you are going to receive a message from someone, and I do feel like that may have been from a person from your past. But as I said, you know, there are, like, really cool, nifty tools that you can use if you don't want someone to come back. You can always just, like, speak to their higher selves in, like, 5D and just say, look, no. You know, I don't really want drama. My life is amazing. Thank you. Bye. I mean, like I said, I did that plenty of times. I kind of love the fact that there is so many rainbows here, and I just can't help, like, wonder, like, I'm pretty sure, oh, no, maybe not. Okay, but there is so many rainbows. Like, I feel like, you know, that cliche saying of like too good to be true, but I don't feel like this person is too good to be true. But you might be feeling a little bit like that way. But that person is definitely somewhat wanting to establish roots with you. I feel like they want to build a solid, stable foundation. And as I said, this person who genuinely does like you and like you for who you are wants to have, you know, family or be with you for the long term. And that's very clear here, like wanting to put their roots down and build like their own family tree with you. And the clouds there might be because, you know, if someone from your past does decide to like make a reappearance, you know, I mean, like I said, I would always just naturally shut the door when something good is coming, when all good things like are happening in your life. Like, you know, kind of like, why throw a spanner in the works? You know, why do that? I would just be like, yeah, just shut the door and just be like, peace out. I'm having an amazing life here. Like, don't come back. But if they do, it, you know, might create some clouds and confusion. But, you know, I always say, trust your gut, trust your instinct. You know what is good for you when you're with someone and your energy is always uplifted, is always high. It's always like, woo, yeah, I'm amazing. I feel great. There's more laughter and there's more happiness than there is sadness and tears. And if someone, you know, you're around them and you experience more sadness and tears and draining, then you know to kind of cut them out. And that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean negative, like, you know, just in relationships. This could also mean in friendships. You know, if you have those draining friends, you know, sometimes the most self-loving thing that you can do for yourself is to cut them out, because that's your energy, that's your field, that's your space. And wouldn't you rather have individuals who add value into your life, who add to your life, than take away? You know, I also feel like this individual that I was referring to, not the one from the past, the one that feels very much present or will be very present, but I feel like they're present. I feel like they will be kind of gifting you with something as well. There's a wish fulfillment here. I feel is going to be coming your way. So maybe you might be expecting a proposal, or maybe you might be expecting a ring, or proposal and ring are the same thing. Or maybe you're expecting them to take you away on vacation. But I feel like there is definitely something here that would be a lovely, joy-filled surprise coming your way. Okay, so let's just kind of, I love pulling my angel cards because I always feel like they are like blessings, and it's a really lovely way to kind of, you know, I don't want to say like finish the reading, but it's almost like it's a really beautiful way to receive messages from them, because they're always so loving and so kind and so wonderful, and it's just lovely to kind of have them. Okay, so we have Adriana. I am leading you towards the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. I did feel like if you chose pile number 1, you're very intuitive, you're very psychic, you're very empathic, you're totally with it. So, you know when your angels and your guides are communicating with you. We also have Chantal. We have new romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Reignited passion in your existing relationship, not someone from your past, the current relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love, and that's beautiful. Okay, so yes, I feel like that was definitely a bit of a confirmation from the messages I was receiving for pile number 1. And we have Zana. So Zana says, you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. And that's kind of beautiful, because you know, I always kind of like say sometimes you'll always have like those weird individuals that kind of come back from your past, and you know, it's like they pop a little nice, like you're in a really lovely bubble and then they pop it, and it's like you don't really need to have them pop it. You can just tell them to go away. Yeah, you can just tell them to go away and pop someone else's bubble. Um, you know. But I do feel like that's your angels and your guides and your spirit team saying, no, we want you to continue being in this amazing, happy, beloved, kind of wonderful state, because they love seeing you that way as well. So yeah. Oh, okay. There was like a couple of cards here, so I'm just going to carry on. Just one more. Here we go. Yoga and exercise are essential to your well-being, peace of mind, and spiritual growth right now. Yeah, so I feel like that's a general message of like, you know, if you, I mean, not saying that I don't think that you're psychic or your impact, but I do feel like that. But obviously rest and rejuvenation is needed. I feel like meditation, yoga is absolutely incredible. Totally gets you into such like a total chi kind of place of like ultimate happiness, so I highly recommend that. But yeah, it does feel like you might be in like this transitionary period of like spiritual growth. So rest, rejuvenation, meditation, connection with your angels and your guides and your spirit team to always consistently guide you in every given moment. And you know, you will always feel at peace with every single step that you take, not only just in towards romance, but also towards your goals or your visions or what you have that you wish to create in this world. Okay, so I do feel like this is my reading for you, pile number one. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a message. But yeah, until next time, sending you all my love. Bye. Hi everyone, this is for those who chose pile number 2, which is the Starchild Tarot. So this is the message that you need to hear. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, what message do you need to hear? Pile number 2. Okay, we have transformation, which is kind of also the death card. It doesn't actually necessarily mean death. I'm going to pull out the top one. It's the Two of Swords. Okay. Two of Cups. And we have the Queen of Wands. Okay. And just a clarifier of the first card. Thank you. Did you want that to be in reverse? Okay. I rarely ever read in reverse, but when it kind of comes up, I'm like, alright. Okay. We have the 8 of Crystals, which is the equivalent to 8 of Pentacles. We have, okay, we have the 7 of Wands. Okay. And one for the Queen of Wands. Okay, we have the Magician. All right. Okay. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. I do feel like there is a period of isolation or some sort of retreat that you are about to be coming out of. And I feel like there is definitely a decision that needs to be made. And in this decision, it's a decision between what is known and what is the unknown. And what is the unknown presents itself with a lot of obstacles and challenges. But I feel like those obstacles and challenges are the very things that are actually just happening inside of you. It's not necessarily happening. It's more in your mind than it is in in reality. Okay, and what I mean by this is, you know, the path of the known, or what you have known, or what you are used to, what the path that you have always been on, has always created financial abundance for you, financial security. And the path of the unknown probably presents itself with a lot of obstacles and challenges. And, you know, it's not saying that it's not guaranteeing financial abundance or success, but it is saying, you know, it's almost like, well, the idea of that could be somewhere in the distance, but it's not in the distance. And that's kind of the truth. I feel like the unknown is the thing that does feel like you are soul like connected to. And it's something that I feel like you do love, like it's a passion inside of you. So maybe it's like yoga, or maybe it's writing, or maybe it's singing, or maybe it's like dancing, or maybe, you know, it's something that you love, like absolutely love. Maybe it's like writing stories, or maybe, you know, the list can go on with like what it is that you love. It could be cooking, it could be DIY, it could be, but the thing that I'm trying to establish here is that it is something that you absolutely love, and that's the main thing. And the reason why it's only creating what you feel is inner obstacles and challenges, like, oh my god, it's a new path, I don't know what I'm going to do, da 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 da, what is the planning, what is the strategy, this doesn't necessarily work out, you know, all those kind of voices that might present itself. That's just the voice of fear. And it's almost like you kind of have to recognize fear for what it is and kind of tell it to take a hike, because when it comes in the plane of dreams and goals, and I mean like doing something you're really passionate about, so work never feels like work, it just feels like every day you're just loving life, you know, it's almost like, of course you're going to experience this inner turmoil, but don't let the inner turmoil win. You know, you have the resilience, you have the strength, but also I think with the Queen of Wands and the Magician, you are a bit of a natural manifester. I feel like you are definitely someone who has a fire in your belly. You have a fire in your spirit. You have that spirit in you to go to the places that you want to. You can go and reach those dreams. You can go and reach those, you know, that kind of like high level. And it does show that you have that inner spirit to do so. And you have the ability to manifest this. You have it all within you. So it's almost like they're saying, you know, don't choose the safe path. Go for the path of the unknown, because, you know, like, you don't really want to sit there for the rest of your life wondering what if. You know, what if you did take that chance? What if you did? And what if things did work out? You might be having the logical, practical side of your brain trying to turn around and say, yeah, but what if it doesn't? What if it all falls flat? No, 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 because that's the voice of fear. It's going to do that. That's the ego. It thinks it's protecting you. It's not protecting you. You can't let it win. You've got to just be like, you've got to have like that inner spirit, which I really feel like you already do, particularly with that Queen of Wands energy right here. Like, you have that inner spirit to kind of turn around and tell your ego, like, no, because you are worthy and deserving of living a life that you truly love and making something of it, because you can, and you can do it. Part number 2. I think that is the message they want you to hear. They don't want you to quit. They don't want you to stop. They want you to take that leap of faith and trust that you can do this. You can make this happen, because you have everything within you to make it happen. And, you know, I kind of want to say like sky's the limit, but actually no, you're limitless. You know, as I said, it feels like this is something that you love. When you are doing something that you love, it doesn't even necessarily feel like it's work. It just feels like it's really easy, it's really natural, it just flows. And then because you're more in this state of doing what you love, everything else around you will just flow into place. And I think that that's what they want you to know. Everything is going to flow into place for you. You have literally just got to trust. You can't let these, obstacle views. And what do I mean by this? I always kind of see Seven of Wands as sometimes internal resistance, but internal resistance can always show up as like, your family and your friends going, oh no, there's no way that you can do this, or there's no way that you can make it. But the truth is, when they're projecting that, they're really just projecting the limitations that they've accepted within themselves, and it doesn't necessarily have any level of truth in it. So don't listen to them. Just kind of do a whole, return to sender, peace out. This is just a sign that I'm going to keep going and doing it. So that's kind of the energy I feel like the universe wants you to have. Like, there's going to be the people around you that want to try and stop you. They may even like bring you down to tears and try and stop you, but you have the inner fire within you, okay, to basically tell all the things around you to take a hike. You're going to make this happen, okay? You could be an Aries, Leo, Sag. I don't necessarily like to put the astrological signs into this. It could be sun, moon and rising, because it's more about like, the characteristic traits. So like the Queen of Wands, she is this entrepreneurial spirit. She's passionate, she's fiery, she is that go-getter, she is that individual that's always like a yes energy. She will not stop going until she has achieved what her heart's desires are. It's a very powerful, fiery, like action like energy. Okay, so that is kind of the energy that I feel is described here, and it's described for you, pile number 2. And you have like amples of gumption in you. Like, you could totally do this almost with your eyes closed, as long as you're always just focusing on the things that you love. I feel like you also have a very strong connection with animals, pile number 2. Just saying. That felt like that was definitely coming in. But you got a path. You've got heights to reach. I feel like there's these. It's like, if you were going to be climbing up a mountain, you would be the one that reaches right at the top. Everyone else might stop somewhere else, but you will be the one that will not stop until you reach the ultimate top, until you reach that goal. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what feels so amazing and passionate and wonderful and incredible and about your entire spirit, pile number 2. And I feel like what you also don't realize is that when you choose the path of the unknown, or something that feels a little scary, you're a bit like, okay, this is new for me, but I'm going to go for it. You have to realize, like, the universe is already conspiring massive forces around you to help your dream, to help that path of the unknown come to fruition. All these powerful forces around you are already working in your favor. They're already doing 80% of the work. You just kind of need to show up and do the 20%. Okay? So yeah, I do feel like that is happening for you, pile number 2. And I think like the other thing that they're saying here is like, yes, there is the action taking, but it's also like trusting your intuition as you are going on your path. The more that you're in love with everything you're doing, that's when you know you're on the right kind of wavelength, the right vibration. And I feel like that's what they're saying. It's like, maintain, keep that vibration of that love that you have for it, and just keep it there, because that's what people are going to feel. And when people feel that love vibration, that's the magnet, that's the thing that's going to attract them all to you. It's the love that you have, the love that you send out into this world. And the more love that you can put out into this world, the more it will come back to you. That's when you receive the good. That's when you can receive the good. And that's when you start to see what I like to call the magic. Okay? Okay, so I feel like that is my tarot reading for you, pile number 2. Let's head over into your oracle reading. Hey there, pile 2. So this is your oracle reading. Let's see what messages or the message you need to hear, pile number 2. I'm only going to take the first one. This is the door to personal healing and happiness. This is Goddess of the Moon. Oh, I just hope it's all kind of coming out straight. Okay. Okay, we have yin and yang. 222 could be of significance to you, pile number 2. We do have envy. Kind of going to move this up. Here we go. Okay. And then we have the second chakra archangel, Ariel. Okay. So the messages here that we do have is door to personal healing and happiness. So as you can see in this image, it's the doors that are opening and there's like a rainbow, there's happiness, there's joy. And one of the strongest messages that was definitely coming from your tarot reading is choosing the very thing that you love to do, choosing your happiness, in other words, because then that's when you're going to feel the most fulfillment in everything that you do. Like every day is going to feel like joy and happiness in every single given moment. And I feel like that is definitely the message that they are trying to convey to you. Okay. With the Goddess of the Moon, I always see it as intuition, and it is definitely something like listening to your intuition, trusting your inner guidance, trusting that where you are moving, where you are going, like you are being guided. The moment you kind of choose the path of doing something that you love or doing something that you're very passionate about, your intuition is going to get stronger. Okay, your intuition is going to be like your guide every single given minute and moment. Okay, because when you're on the path of love, that I always feel like it's kind of like being on the path of magic, and with that magic it's like you're listening to that inner voice that's just always guiding you, and then somehow when you're listening to that inner voice, everything does work out for you. So just trust your intuition here. With yin and yang, yes, of course it does. Okay, there's a ding there. Trust your intuition is definitely the message here. But we have yin and yang, and that is all about maintaining balance. Okay, maintaining balance, trusting yourself. I think, you know, if you're someone who's into yoga and meditation, those are incredible practices to help balance the chi energy within your whole energy body, and that allows you to kind of move in this life with like this kind of ease and this joy and this grace, because it's all about creating peace within in order to experience that outside. Okay, outside, and what I mean by that is like in your external reality, your world, your life. If you're feeling like confusion, array, and everything inside, then that's what's going to end up sort of manifesting itself into your life. So that's why I say, like, you know, when you keep yourself in this kind of balanced state of complete trust and utter faith that everything is going to flow and work in your favor, then everything always usually does. Okay, and then we have envy and the second chakra archangel Ariel. So I did mention that, you know, sometimes you might experience some form of resistance around you. You might have people that are a little bit of like naysayers, people who might try and pull you down, not necessarily have the best intentions towards you. And sometimes we also might you know, I don't like usually saying things like this. I also just saw 444, so I just want to say that. But it's sometimes when we're on this path, it can invite also, you know, a little bit of the jealousy and the envy or the green-eyed monster from others. And, you know, the thing about, sorry, I said that so high-pitched. The thing about individuals who do express this, and it's kind of interesting, in this image you see this individual who's quite jaded or whatever, and she's looking out the door of like this golden joy and happiness happening around. So those who don't know how to be happy for others, who, you know, who are experiencing joy and whatever, these are individuals who have built not just limitations within themselves, but, you know, they just kind of haven't learned to let go of certain things in the past. And so, you know, they're kind of like, you know, like the negative patties, the individuals who just like to put a dampener on people's joy and happiness because they don't necessarily feel that within themselves. They don't even know how to sometimes experience that within themselves. It's almost unconscious of them to be jealous or envious of others, and they don't think it's anything wrong with them, but actually in truth and in hindsight there is. And they do need to get to a place of accountability and responsibility for their own actions and their feelings, because they're going to also be the individuals who need to blame everyone for everything, okay? And the individuals who blame everyone for everything are consistently just playing this kind of victim card, not necessarily growing and expanding. You can't take anything personal from these individuals. They do need to go through their own healing processes. So sometimes it's always best to just go, you know what, just send you love and light, bye. Shut the door. I hope you do find some growth and expansion on your path at some point, you know. But they have to recognize that within themselves first. And the unfortunate thing is sometimes they won't, and you know that kind of happens. But there you go. I think they're saying is, don't let those negative individuals, these individuals who might try to make you feel bad, who might project blame, you know, they're going to be the individuals where if you're walking around with like a smile on your face, you're really happy, you're over the moon, you're constantly smiling and everything, but because they feel like crap inside, they're going to like project some sort of negative thing at you, and it could totally spiral your day. That's when you know you're experiencing someone who has envy towards you or jealousy towards you, okay? And if that happens, don't let them win. Like, carry on being happy, carry on being smiley, carry on being joy-filled, because this is your life and it is your right to be joy-filled and happy and experience that happiness every single given moment. And if they don't know how to do it, this is the thing, they need to do that to bring you down to their level, because they cannot, you know, experience that kind of light. That light is affecting all their triggers, and they just kind of want to project it, okay? But if you carry on vibrating at that higher happy vibration, like, this is what's going to do. You're going to end up either repelling that energy away from you, or you're going to, you know, get them to elevate. That's just kind of how it is. So, yeah. Basically, don't let this person, like, burst your balloons of happiness. Just, yeah. We have the second chakra, Archangel Ariel, and I do feel like this is all about your creativity. And this was definitely expressed in your tarot reading, of choosing the path that you love. And the path that you love may be a little bit more creative than what you're used to doing. This might be something like I said, it could be yoga, it could be writing, it could be singing, it could be painting, it could be dancing, it could be anything. But the thing is, it's your sacred, it's creative, it's something that brings this joy, this light, this fulfillment. So allow that to be fully expressed and feel no shame or guilt. Just express it exactly how you would do it. And how you would do it is your own authentic expression. And owning that is what matters. So yeah, I apologize. I think I should get some water. Oh, just bear with me one moment. Okay, so let's carry on pulling out some more Oracle cards. So we do have Discovery. Oh, I love that. We have Discovery. And I kind of feel like that's very fitting with definitely with the tarot card, because that was kind of like you coming out of your period of isolation or retreat of some kind is really your time to have like self-reflection or your own self-discovery. And I feel like you have found something that brings you so much joy and happiness. We do have gifts here, and we have movement. Oh wow, I really love this. Okay, look at what it says here. Gifts, hidden gems, latent abilities, potential, bonus blessing, prize. You possess hidden talents. Oh my god. Okay, I've kind of got like chills because, you know, we were talking in your tarot reading, there is something that you love, there is something that you're passionate about, and you've probably kept it hidden for like quite some time, but now it's like coming into its fullest it's coming into like its fullest bloom. Like, you are going to be so blessed if you can bring forth that very thing into your life, and you absolutely have all the potential energy to do so. You've got also movement here, which is great progress, big leaps, thriving breakthrough. You will have a breakthrough with this, advancing, good energy. You'll make good progress. So yeah, if that wasn't confirmation enough of like doing the very thing that you love, then I don't know what was. Let's put out a love card here for you. Okay, we have blocked from love. I didn't really pick up any kind of love vibes coming along here, but that's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't have love or anything. It just feels like there is. Okay. We had two cards going, and you know how I said the known and unknown? We've got the into the unknown, and we've also got complicated. Many external factors are complicating this relationship, making it difficult to take things to the next level. There may be emotional baggage from the past blocking you from true love. It's time to release it. And into the unknown, you must proceed without knowing what the future looks like. Conquer your fear of the unknown. Okay? Oh my God. Just like had those tingles again because I said that in the tarot reading, to go down the path of the unknown. Okay, so okay, I'm feeling excited for you, part number 2. Okay, so here's the thing about love. Very interesting, isn't it? If you're an individual who has experienced certain relationships in the past, you know, it can go all the way back from like teenagers all the way up into your 20s, into your university or college days, etc. But you've had, let's just say you have a bit of a history, but the thing is you might be stuck in like these cyclical patterns, okay? But it is more than often because you're kind of holding certain emotions from previous relationships, that those kind of old emotions are getting brought forth into your current or your future relationships. And how do you release yourself from those blocks? I do talk about this, and it is through forgiveness. I feel like forgiveness is the most powerful, most transformative practice anyone can go through. But the more that you can forgive individuals from your past, the more you can forgive patterns, the more that you can forgive individuals who've hurt you, or were, you know, or more than often also mom and dad. But the more that you can forgive, the more that you start to release those blocks in your energy body. And I say this because like I am an energy healer, so I do see this quite frequently. within my clients. So I help them release this, and when they release it, they suddenly feel like there's a freedom, like they're free from something in the past, like a huge weights have been lifted off them. And what they find then is they can have a relationship with a fresh chapter, like a fresh start, with no repeated patterns of anything from the past. And that's when you're liberated. So yeah, you could be an individual who might be like in a bit of an uncomplicated situation. Okay, if you're ever, I feel like sometimes, I get it. Like, okay, some people kind of get themselves into complicated situations, or it's complicated. I'm going to say something. Love is not complicated. Love is pretty easy. Okay? There's nothing too complicated about it. You choose someone who chooses you right back. If there's like any level of like ghosting, abandoning, not messaging, etc., that kind of thing, more than often, like, that's just not the kind of relationship you want to be in. Like, why would you put yourself through all those emotional highs and lows? I mean, I always say, like, you want to choose someone who makes you feel like, you can be yourself every single day. Like, you can be who you are, and that's all that matters. And, they just love you for who you are, and you love them, and it's kind of peaceful. It's very peaceful. You're just like, yeah, cool. This is awesome. I feel like sometimes when people get themselves into it's complicated situation, there's a certain kind of excitement that comes with and I know this because a lot of my friends actually get themselves into these situations. Like, I sometimes feel like I end up being agony aunt to a lot of my friends. But when they get themselves into its complicated situations, more than often they like the excitement. Okay, they like the excitement of the thrill of the high and the low, whether they're going to message or not. And there is a lesson that needs to kind of be learned from that. It's kind of learning that more than often, if you're seeking that high and that low, like the I need to feel that excitement, or that thrill, etc., more than often it's coming from wounded places. Like, you may have experienced a mum or dad, or your parents' relationship, or maybe they didn't have the relationship, but you were exposed to a relationship that experienced a lot of those highs and lows, and so you've agreed and accepted that that's what relationships should be like. Or on some level there is like some sort of shock or trauma as well that has happened. All things that can be worked through, and all things that can be cleared. But anyway, so if you do feel like you are in one of those kind of situations, you can actually get through it, work through it with what I like to call the most powerful practice known to this world, known to this planet. Not easy, it's forgiveness. And forgiveness sets you free completely from all those blocks. Okay? Yeah, and I love this card, whether it is in regards to love or whether it's not in regards to love, but I don't feel like it is. It was just the message as well from the tarot reading. You must proceed without knowing what the future holds. Conquer your fear of the unknown. And I love that, because in the unknown, I love the unknown. When I find myself in the unknown, I always tell myself something amazing is going to happen. I wired myself that way. And, when you kind of get into the unknown, you start to feel like, yeah, this is a great place to be. You're not fearful of anything. You're happy to take risks. And I feel like that is important. Okay. All right. I am going to pull out some Lenormand. Just pull out some Lenormand, because I really like these cards. The Gilded Reverie. Oh. Okay. These like kind of flip forward. Okay, we have the flowers. We do have the snake. And I think, all right, these two wanted to come out. We have the tower and we also have the dog. Okay. So I think when I was talking about, well, firstly, there's going to be some sort of gift, I think, definitely coming your way. Pile number 2. I also feel like with the snake, it's just kind of saying be a little bit wary. And, you know, we had the envy card here. Just be a little bit wary of, like, those individuals who like to pop your balloon and, you know, don't want you to be happy because internally they just feel really unhappy with themselves and their lives. So, but not to let them affect you. Just, you know, kind of always be mindful of that. But we also have the tower and we also have the dog, and it feels like maybe this path of the known, the one that I initially was talking about. So you have the path of the known and the path of the unknown. The path of the known is very financially secure, but I also feel like they are very faithful. They do appreciate you, they do value you, and for you to kind of then suddenly go, no, I'm choosing this path where I'm doing something that I love. It's not like actually a bad thing. I do feel like they'd be very supportive towards you because I do feel, like I said, they do value you. Yeah, I also feel, I just need to clarify this one. Sorry, I apologize. I wonder if that is, yeah, no, okay, so it is work related. Yeah, so this could be like the current place of the known that you're used to, and maybe you are someone who's very faithful to them. Like you have been with someone, you have been someone who's been with them for a very long time, and you know, as such, you have increased your value with this particular establishment. But you know, it's almost kind of saying that as much as this may be the comfort of the knowing, you have to kind of jump into the unknown, because you would rather lead a life of fulfillment than a life that's not necessarily fulfilling. Okay, I think that's the message. All right, so I'm gonna also I like to end the reading with some angel messages, because I always find them to be so loving, so wonderful, so kind, and it's just like a really lovely way to kind of end like any reading, because they're always just filled with so much love and guidance as well. Okay, so we do have Caressa, and we have, you are at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Yeah, we have Archangel Michael. I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. Wow. If that really did not feel aligned with your tarot reading, I mean, I don't know what did. This is basically Archangel Michael saying, when you have your fears show up, and you know which ones I'm talking about, call upon Archangel Michael, and he will help you release those fears and remind you of your work, of your divine life purpose, and how much fulfillment and happiness you will experience. Because in the end of the day, your angels, your guides, and universe, everyone, like your whole spirit team, all they will ever want for you is your happiness. And it's like they just want you to experience that so much so in every single given moment, because they know that that's when your true spirit can always be emanated. Okay, we have, it is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you have a right to be powerful. Be powerful. Take action. Again, kind of aligns with the whole Queen of Wands energy that was definitely coming in very strong. Okay. We had two angels coming out here. We have Archangel Raphael. which is, I am helping you heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You are a healer like me. So I always find that Archangel Raphael is incredible to like work with, particularly with healing work. Absolutely wonderful. And obviously is saying, you know, when you hit these parts of you that can feel very wounded or very hurt, you can call upon Archangel Raphael to help you free yourself from those as well. And then we also have Ishaya. It's a good time to give birth to new ideas, situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you and protecting you during these changes. Yeah, and I feel like that is very beautiful, because that is talking about taking that step into the unknown, doing the very thing that you love, and birth your new ideas and situations into your life to make your life the most fulfilling and the most happiest for you. Okay, so I do feel like this is my reading for you, pile number 2. Like, that was like really beautiful. I really enjoyed that, so thank you for this reading. Yeah, and until next time, bye. Hey there, pile 3. This is for those who chose the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, and this is the message that you need to hear. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Okay, we have the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Emperor. Okay, what message do we have for pile number 3? What message do we have for pile number 3? We have Knight of Swords. What message do they need to hear? We have the 7 of Wands. What message do they need to hear? Okay, we have the Ace of Cups. What message do they need to hear? Pile number 3. Okay. We have the 5 of Swords and we have the 4 of Cups. What message do they need to hear? Okay, the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, pile number 3. This is a kind of very interesting message that I feel like I'm receiving. It feels like you might be in an environment. I'm not necessarily picking up that this is a kind of a love situation. This could be a work, career, or kind of college. It kind of feels like a work situation, if I'm going to be honest. And it feels like it has more to do with sort of experiencing a lot of challenges in regards to abundance. So we have like the 2 of Pentacles. It feels like this is a situation where maybe you kind of signed up or signed on for something that you thought was really good, and it feels like it didn't necessarily turn out the way that you initially thought it would. Like it's a bit like, you know, if you thought that it was the dream job and then suddenly you were like, oh my god, what the heck is this? Like, I have no work-life balance. They don't care about how I feel, or, you know, it could very much be kind of one of those situations. And it feels like, even though this kind of place, or this, I don't want to say like institution or something, because it might not necessarily be work or career, although it does feel a little bit like that. It's almost like, even though it feels like they're trying to kind of meet you halfway or something, it's still not fulfilling. It's still not really satiating that feeling inside of you. Like, it feels like you're actually looking for some sort of fulfillment and you're not necessarily receiving it. And because also it feels like also you're kind of experiencing some form of like challenges in regards to abundance, okay? And this is kind of being a bit of an issue. So it's almost like maybe you might be thinking that this was the dream job, but they're not necessarily paying you what you want. Or this could be the college degree that you thought you wanted to go down, and then suddenly you're a bit like, oh, it's not what you initially thought or you expected it to be. If this is in regards to a love situation, then it's kind of a similar thing. It's not the love that you kind of pictured it to be, but I'm not necessarily picking up it's love, because it feels like it does feel like this is something to do with more trying to work out what aligns with what makes you feel fulfilled and what makes you happy. Because in the end of the day, it feels like you're an individual who knows that you rather be in this world and you rather feel like you're lit up, that you can light up every single day and you can feel joy and express that joy every single given moment. And it feels like this kind of place may not necessarily be giving that to you. With the Seven of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, there's also what feels like might be the challenges and the obstacles in regards to abundance. So you may not necessarily feel like you're even really being paid enough to kind of satiate the lifestyle that you really want to have, and trying to be like probably curious like why you are experiencing sort of these challenges. It's kind of very interesting. I am going to pull out some clarifiers here. We do have the Princess of Swords, and we do have the Ace of Wands. It feels like there needs to be some sort of direct communication and action taken here in order to change that situation or circumstances. And the thing is, that's not like a bad thing. Like going into not that I'm saying that I used maybe I used to work in an environment at some point. But if I do feel like something was not right and it's not okay or something, like kind of communicated it very effectively. And it's probably what is encouraged here if you do want to change your circumstances. But overall, I'm actually kind of thinking like, no, it does feel like maybe there needs to be more of kind of working out what it is that you actually love to do and then taking action steps towards that as well. And then from there, you can actually create a lot of abundance. So starting to think about what it is that you actually love to do, what you love to create, what you love to be. Maybe it's fashion. And if it is something to do with fashion, it's like start just putting on different outfits, matching it together, putting a picture up and putting it on Instagram. Or maybe it's something to do with video blogging and going traveling. Then, just take a video, do some video editing and putting it out there. The thing is, I think you need to know that there's limitless opportunities out there for you. So not to be brought down or to feel brought down or feel like you're being bogged down by this kind of like this particular place, but open yourself up to the infinite possibilities of what you can do. So rather than thinking of what you can't, or they're so dense, or they're so or they're just really just not so creative and fun, etc. What is it that you can do? What is it that you can do that's going to bring you joy and happiness? And what can you create, and how can you express that out there? Okay, so then you're kind of opening yourself up to the infinite possibilities. I kind of feel like, we're going to definitely go into your oracle reading. I think that's what we're going to do. So, pile 3. Hey there, pile 3. So let's have a look and see what the oracle reading has for you. We do have anxiety and we do have broken heart. Okay. We do have the Angel of Strength. We do have Healer of the Ages. Okay, that's beautiful. And we do have All Tied Up. Okay, so as I said, I did feel like this could have been like a work situation or something of that nature that wasn't necessarily something that you initially thought it was. And if this is to do with a relationship, it could very much be the situation where a relationship wasn't exactly what you thought it was, and a lot of it is causing perhaps a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress for you in this very moment. And I think what your angels, your guides, and your spirit team are trying to kind of say to you, you know, you do have the strength to overcome this. And, you know, we do have Healer of the Ages, and in this I think that is meant to represent Jesus. And Jesus is a phenomenal healer if you do work with him in the healing arts. But they're there to kind of help you get to the root of a lot of what is going on. I think a huge part of this is trying to find some level of fulfillment, or trying to find some sort of happiness and not necessarily being able to find it, whether it's in the relationship or whether it's in the workplace or career. And actually, you know, happiness is not something that can necessarily be found outside of you. It is a state of being. It's choosing to be in a state of being of happiness, okay? And sometimes, in order to really get to that place of happiness, we have to get to the roots of where that all really necessarily came from. So maybe you might have had a father who was never around and was always working, never showed up. So you might have an energy, or you might feel like, you know, individuals don't necessarily pay attention to you, or you know, if you find yourself in romantic situations, the person doesn't show up the way that they're meant to, so your expectations, you know, you start to feel a level of disappointment. But actually, if you start to heal more of the deeper wounds of like those parts of you that perhaps felt like very much not given the attention, you know, from your father, then it's like once that's healed, you won't necessarily need that from individuals outside of you. It's a very I know I'm trying to like kind of explain healing in a nutshell. As well as me being a psychic, I am also a healer, so I kind of understand energy and where their roots tend to come from. You might be someone who experiences a lot of heartbreak in relationships, or even heartbreak sometimes in work environments as well. I know I wasn't necessarily picking it up in the tarot reading, but obviously broken heart does show up here. I feel like this is more to do with you not finding happiness, and there's a lot of anxiety and stress around that. And a lot of where it's really coming from is really going to come down from the roots. If you kind of came from environments that were let's just say not very happy, like your parents may not have ever been happy, or they were always fighting or something along the lines of this and stuff. The thing is, all that energy is still going to be stuck in your energy body, and you might be wondering, you know, why am I experiencing these kind of particular relationships or these particular kind of situations or circumstances? And then more than often you're going to find that it goes back to those root memories, okay? And that's why, you know, when Healer of the Ages, and this is like Jesus, comes up a lot, I feel that has to do with so much more of the inner work, so much more of where like the roots of everything comes from. Because like I said, if you work with Jesus in the healing arts, phenomenal healer, just is truly transformative, truly wonderful and incredible how individuals can feel so lifted in a moment just from working with Jesus. So yeah, it's incredible. And I feel like what they're saying is you need to find the strength within yourself to kind of release yourself from these ties and these binds and these thought processes that are kind of keeping you stuck. And the best way to free yourself from feeling stuck is just really taking that step towards like choosing to heal and choosing to be free from all the constrictions and the constraints that you have experienced. As I said, it feels like maybe you might not necessarily be feeling happy with the workplace that you're currently in, and it's not what you thought it would be. And maybe, you know, it's the internal reflection of going within. You're witnessing maybe mom and dad never experiencing happiness. They're just the hard work grinders, you know, not experiencing happiness in their workplace. And you're wondering, you know, why do I not feel happy? And it's just because, you know, you might have duplicated mom and dad, and it's time to clear that all out. And then you can free yourself, so then you can start to choose from places of freedom and free will choice. Like I said, it feels like this is more of one of those messages that's kind of indicating more of the inner work that kind of wants to get done, that needs to get done here. It's highly recommended if you chose pile number 3. Yeah, we have shielding here. Protection, low profile, defense, isolation, preventative, surveillance, move and win in silence. And we have independent, strike out on your own, free thinking, entrepreneur, freedom, self-reliance, self-made, own efforts. Okay. Hold on to these. Joy. Oh my God, I kind of love that, because I did keep saying to you, it feels like this message is about you, you know, really choosing to be happy, and it's really finding your joy, your fulfillment. And if that card wasn't a message enough, like they, you know, your angels and your guides and your spirit team want you to lead a life that is fulfilling for you, okay? And I think for them, it's like important that you do. Yeah, I think they want you to lead a life that's very fulfilling, that's joy-filled, that's happiness. They want your happiness more than anything. If something in your life is not making you happy, sometimes it's just finding that inner willpower, that inner strength to take action steps to do what is necessary. And it looks like it's time to kind of free yourself is the message. Okay, we do have friends with benefits, and we do have unspoken love. Okay, and we do have manic love. Okay. So, I mean, if you did choose this pile, you could be someone that's quite relatively young. Like, you could very much be in your early 20s or in your 20s, and, you know. But we have friends with benefits. We have unspoken love. You may have great sexual chemistry, but never take it to the next level. Careful not to get hurt. You or your partner may prefer not to profess your love away, could be out of fear of rejection. And then we also have manic love. There will be a deep and intense love that could trigger possessive behavior and make you act out of character. Okay, so if you're kind of finding yourself in a situation where, you know, you are experiencing broken heart, or you're experiencing a relationship that you didn't think, you know, but okay, let's be honest. Okay, let's be truth here. Let's be truth. Friends with benefits. Okay, is that the most recommended situation? So I have had loads of friends in the past who have been in friends with benefits situations, and each and every single time, and a lot of my friends are women, but the women have found themselves in situations where they fall in love with the individual. And I kind of look into that scientifically. I can look into this energetically, but I also can tell scientifically as well. It's because women release the hormone oxytocin, which is the feel good. So their way of connecting intimately is through sex. However, when it comes to having sex with men, men do not experience the same thing. Okay, for them, sex is sometimes just sex. and there is no feeling, there is no emotion, there is no love behind it. And it's not because they're hard or they're cold, but or any of that, but more than often they feel that kind of love from, interestingly enough, stress, which is why, I don't know if any of you have noticed, a lot of men might end up finding themselves falling in love with their work. And a huge part of it is because the feel-good factor comes after these huge high stress points. Okay, weird, I know. I don't know why I kind of read these weird scientific things, but when it comes to friends with benefit situations, I'm not saying it can't end well or it doesn't end well or any of that, but I am going to say, you know, a lot of the times what people don't realize is that when they get themselves romantically involved with someone, the man and the woman, or man and man, or woman and woman, depends, but you kind of set the terms right then and there. Like, are we just going to have fun? Or are we just going to be friends with benefits? Or are we going to be in a long-term relationship? The truth is, if you are someone who wants to be in a long-term relationship, okay, and again, this is something I do tell my friends, if you want to be in a long-term relationship, don't lower your standard. So what I mean by this is, if you want to be in a long-term relationship, but you meet a guy and they say or a girl, they just say, I just want to be friends with benefits, then you don't lower your standard there. You don't go, oh, but I kind of like you, so I want to see how this goes. No, you just cut them off right then and there. You don't lower your standard. You choose the person who equally wants to be in a long-term, loving, fulfilling relationship, okay? That's what I mean. More than often, a lot of people find themselves in those situations where they choose to kind of lower their standards because they really like the person, or they feel some sort of connection, or they feel something along the lines of that. But I always say, like, that's not the best thing to do, because, you know, it's kind of like you're telling the universe you're happy to lower your standards. And so, you know, you then get yourself into one of those patterns where if that person doesn't work out, the kinds of people you will keep attracting are the individuals who will always just want friends with benefits. And it's just because you've kind of accepted that pattern. Okay, again, something that can be released with a lot of forgiveness, love, and just letting it go. Whew. You could be someone who is having feelings for this particular individual. But again, and you could be, you know, it's saying this will be a deep and intense love that could trigger possessive behavior and make you act out of character. So yeah, it's one of I feel like there's definitely a lot of lessons of like growth and expansion here. But you know, I feel like this is kind of one of those things where if you are in one of those predicaments with a love situation, you know, don't lower your standards. If you want the fulfilling long-term relationship, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't choose the person who doesn't want it. Choose the person who does want to have it with you. And you will find yourself in a far more fulfilling relationship. So yes. Anyway, I hope that was kind of helpful. We have shielding and independence. Again, like I said, I was really picking up a lot more of the work kind of situation, and you might be in like one of those situations where it's not necessarily making you feel joy and happiness, but striking out on your own and doing your own thing. Like I said, if there is something that you enjoy, that you love, maybe it's like fashion, it's like, okay, start putting outfits together and throw that out on Instagram, you know, it's or TikTok or something. It's start putting yourself out there to make something happen for yourself, okay? And just trust that everything can work in your favor, okay? There's no need, I feel like, you know, your anxiety and your stress, and maybe it's coming from the pressure or feeling overwhelmed at work. I always say, like, the moment that you feel that, I mean, just, it's not worth it. Like, I just don't feel like corporate life is really worth it. Some people really love corporate because they love structure and they love rules They love those kind of things. I personally hate it. That's just me. Because that's just me. But, do I think, corporate does work for some people, but it will also not work for others. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's really assessing what it is that's going to bring you joy and going for it. Because I do feel like your angels and your guides and spirit team want that for you. Okay, so we're going to pull out some Lenormands for you. Ooh. Okay, so we do have the Garden, Socialize, Network, Coffin. We do have Coffin. Oh. We do have a Letter, and we do have the Scythe. Okay, and we had the Fox. I kind of wanted to clarify the Scythe there. You will be receiving a message, and there is going to be some sort of ending to deception, or some person who thinks they're sly and they're getting away with something. This could be a work environment, but this could also be a love interest. But the point is, it does feel like this person is going to be kind of cut out of your life. It could be, like I said, like a skeezy co-worker or something that's been causing you trouble, and they're going to just be kind of cut out of your life. That very much could be the situation. We also have Garden, which does suggest to me, socializing, networking, getting out there, being the talk of the town. But we also have the Coffin, and it does feel like there is going to be some sort of ending. So there could be you making the decision that you do not want to be currently working in an environment that does not necessarily make you happy, or it could just be you choosing to not want to be in a relationship that's not necessarily fulfilling for you. I mean, it's either or, but the thing that's not fulfilling you, it feels like that's something that you make the decision to cut out of your life. And what that is, that's entirely, it's going to be up to you to make that decision at the end of the day. Okay. All right, so let's pull out some angel cards for you. Ooh, we do have Time Out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. Yeah. Self-care is definitely a strong message coming out here. You are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. Wow. Okay. I did say, like, in the tarot reading, it does feel like you do need to find that thing that does make you happy, or that does fulfill you, that does bring you joy. And I think that that's a really beautiful message from Alina, which is you are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. Do the research, seek expert advice before making any decision. And I think that that is beautiful guidance for you, pile number 3. We do have to make your decision. Ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose and which way takes me away from it. Okay. And we do have Ariel. We have, okay. Well, this is very interesting. All right. We have Ariel, we have Danielle as well. We have Danielle, who's, I am the angel of marriage and I am assisting you right now. And new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. Okay, so when Danielle does come out, it does talk about marriage. Doesn't necessarily always mean marriage with a person if that's not something you necessarily want. Although I did say if you want a long-term relationship with someone, choose the individual who wants to be in a long-term relationship with you. And if that is actually something that you do want, no, obviously I do feel like Danielle is the angel that can help you bring that forth into your reality. you know, the long-term relationship, marriage. The reason why I say, you know, it doesn't necessarily always mean marriage, but it can mean more of the long-term fulfilling relationship, because not everyone in the world does want to get married. Some people actually just want to be with their partner for the long term and not be married. And those things are kind of perfectly fine. I think everyone has that freedom and that free will choice to choose a relationship that is most fulfilling for them. Okay, and then new psychic and spiritual experiences, and I feel like that's definitely wonderful. Like, you do choose this path of, like, you know, wanting to find yourself or wanting to find that thing that brings you that joy and that happiness, so then you can express that fully. But also I feel like, you know, that's sort of a path where you're naturally, your psychic gifts, the spiritual experiences, seeing 111, 222, all of those things are going to start unfolding for you, pile number 3. So I do feel like that is a very beautiful reading. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that pile number 3. It was an absolute pleasure to do that for you. Yeah, absolute pleasure to do that for you. Sorry, I just had to do something there. And yeah, if you like that, feel free to comment. But other than that, until next time, bye. Hey there, Pile 4. This is for those who chose the Edgar Allan Poe deck. So let's see what message you need to hear, pile number 4. What message do you need to hear, pile number 4? What message do you need to hear, pile number 4? Pile number 4, what message do you need to hear? Okay. Okay. What message do you need to... Maybe just one card at a time. Okay. We have the 3 of Cups, and we also have the 10 of Swords. I mean, yeah, okay. All right. What message does pile number 4 need to hear? 5 of Swords. We have 3 of Wands. We also have the King of Cups. Okay. All right. We have the Knight of Wands, we have the Empress, and we have the 7 of Swords. Okay. What message do you need to hear? We also have the 9 of Cups. And we also have the Devil. Okay. Pile number 4. Okay, pile number 4. Okay, I kind of... Right. I feel like pile number 4, there is a little bit of self-sabotage that's actually going on here. And I feel like this is because maybe in the past you have potentially experienced... you have experienced some sort of heartbreak in the past that maybe was very heavy. It was very painful, it was very heavy, it was very... perhaps quite dramatic. There was a lot of temper tantrums fueling. There's a lot of how do I say, it's almost like it was probably quite heavy in the sense that it was quite draining on you, and it may have involved an individual who's in what was in a third party sort of situation. But I feel like you probably had a lot of high hopes on this particular individual, but it feels like this individual just and this is a past relationship, never necessarily matured. This person could have been like an Aries, Leo, Sag. Could have been someone, like I said, pulled a lot of tantrums, lost their temper very quickly, just didn't really know how to control situations, and probably led you on for a little too long. Doesn't necessarily mean that they had to be Aries, Leo, Sag. They could have been Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But I'm describing the individual and the characteristics at which they displayed towards you and what you had potentially experienced on their part. It feels like this was just not a very healthy, loving relationship. It does feel, though, like you might have your eyes set on someone potentially new. And this person feels like they could be like a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio energy. And this could be someone that you feel is a little bit more of a wish fulfillment. Like they are someone who probably has a lot of the characteristics or things that you really like in an individual. Like I kind of hear like tick box, but it feels like maybe this is an individual who does like tick all your boxes. And you feel like maybe you kind of manifested this person, or no, actually you could be at a distance with this particular person. Like I said, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio is kind of coming in strong, but doesn't necessarily have to be. But what I am picking up with this particular Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio individual is that this person definitely has some sort of addictions, and it could not be, obviously addictions is just never really healthy. This person could be someone who loves partying, or someone who loves excessive amounts of chocolate, or it could be something. Yeah, I'm hearing it's not necessarily the healthiest. It could be like, I know, so I'm like from the UK, but my like partner is from the US, and in the US apparently like marijuana is like, you know, is legal. But for me, because I'm from the UK and that's like illegal, like I still consider it like not a good thing to be getting onto like at all. But it could be those kind of addictions. It could be, I feel like this person might be hiding who they truly are to you. You don't necessarily know the underlying nature of this individual. And I feel like you think that this person might be a bit of a wish come true. You're probably feeling like you're really willing to go the distance. I am being shown here, if there's something about this past relationship that you had that does need to be healed. This betrayal, this deceit, this lying, this hiding who they are, and this kind of feeling of like torture and heaviness that you probably experienced with this particular individual. And the reason why I say like that needs to kind of get healed, and it gets healed really easily through forgiveness, is so that you are not recreating or carrying that pattern forward into any other relationship moving forward. You know, I'm not saying that this particular individual, I feel, likes to like go out and socialize with a lot of people. Like I feel like this person is always like surrounded by people and by friends. Like they always like to be in social environments. And like these social environments may not necessarily be the healthiest environments, if I'm going to be honest. It could be like this person could be very much addicted to work or alcohol. But addictions, I always say, is never good, really. So yeah, there is definitely a huger message here, I feel, in regards to healing, and it's healing this particular past relationship so then you can experience a far better kind of relationship moving forward. And and like I said, a huge part of it is a lot of forgiveness. It's letting go. It's really, if this individual in the past definitely, like, you know, was in a third party situation or whatever, a huge part of, like, with the Seven of Swords, because, you know, that does indicate sort of betrayal, lying and deceit, etc. And that you may have been that person who experienced that from this particular individual. And, you know, to heal that is to kind of just really learn to, like, forgive that this individual was basically out of alignment with integrity and honesty. I feel like that is, like, literally everyone's true nature, but sometimes our environment, our societal environment, or the environment that we grow up in, can influence our behavior. And it's kind of learning to see things from a more compassionate point of view in order to free yourself from that. It feels like a huge part of this message is massively forgiveness, because I feel like you are someone who does want to actually get married. I say get married, but I feel like actually what I'm trying to say is it sounds like you actually do want to have children, because I am seeing the Empress card. Empress, of course, does mean abundance, but it obviously does mean like it's that maternal, motherly, have it all, but also just, you know, be able to have a family. It feels like this is something that is of a wish fulfillment for you. But again, there is this message of needing to let go of the past. I feel like with the Three of Wands, so Three of Wands can always talk about indicative of like changing direction, traveling, moving somewhere. If maybe this individual that you have your eyes set on, it lives at a distance, and you're like looking at it as if like you kind of want to go there. I kind of want to say though, you know, like okay, yeah, we got the Hierophant, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, and we have the Page of Swords. I think you're kind of looking at this particular individual like they have something here, like maybe they have this ability to be very successful with the work or whatever it is that they do, and that's what attracts you to this person, because you're looking at them and on the outside they look very stable, they look very secure, they look like they have it together. But quite honestly, underneath, they might not necessarily have it together. You might have a bit of a tendency to want to try and heal people and not necessarily recognize that. I don't want to like trigger people whatsoever who chose pile number 4. Maybe you know that this individual has a bit of a wandering eye. But I do feel like on your part, you are to, I feel like in the end of the day, your angels and your guides and your spirit team, they're always going to want you to have the most fulfilling future. They're going to want you to experience joy. If you want marriage and you want a long-term fulfilling relationship, you want to have children, trust me when I say the angels, guides, spirit team, the universe want it for you more than ever. Okay, they always want what you want more than you want it for yourself. Okay, to the universe, it's always a yes for you. It will always be a yes. Okay, but if you're like kind of putting out there into the universe like, I really want to experience this, but then something shows up and it's not necessarily quite right, that's okay. That's totally normal. I always say that that's your soul's way of trying to show you that there is something inside of you, a pattern, an emotion, or something that you have accepted to be true, that they just want you to get rid of so that they can then give you what you want. A lot of manifestors or people in manifestations believe, you know, they will call it your limiting beliefs. Okay, I kind of call it energy because it is energy. And a lot of energy can be cleared through a lot of forgiveness. And I always say that forgiveness is a transformative, a very powerful practice. In relationships, it's probably requisite, it's a requirement, because it frees you from your past so you can make decisions for yourself in the future that is so much more empowering, so much more emboldening, and it allows you to have that fresh start that you have always wanted for yourself. Like, in other words, like I said, if you want to have that long-term relationship with a fulfilling, loving partner, they want that for you too. Another huge message that I'm hearing is that a part of you might also be closed off from receiving love, And because you're closed off from receiving love, and again, it's because of what you've experienced in this past relationship, you might be choosing individuals who are not really willing to kind of give you love. Okay, and that's not saying that, you know, you're doing that on purpose or anything. It's very much an unconscious thing. So usually, more than often, when we kind of experience these really bad relationships, we can shut ourselves off from wanting to receive love. So we will actually choose the person that is the bad guy unconsciously or the bad girl, instead of actually choosing the partner that would actually be really good for us and everything would naturally work out, you know. And a huge part of that is because there's just a bit of a closure on receiving love. Again, I'm a bit of a healer. Or no, I'm not a bit of a healer. I am an energy healer, so I can tend to see these energies where they get blocked. Yeah. So it kind of feels like that's what you might be doing, and almost on this unconscious level, you are attracted to the individuals who might not necessarily be capable of receiving love. And again, that's just because that wants to get healed. This past relationship wants to get healed. Okay. All right. So let's go and head over into your energy, your oracle reading. Sorry. Yeah. Let's head over into that. Hey there, powerful. So this is your energy oracle. I mean, it's your oracle reading. So let's have a look. Okay. We do have all tied up. Okay, that kind of came out in pile number 3. We do have the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, which is all about the heart chakra. We have the Magician and the Mirror. We have woman holding a coin and cornucopia. Okay. Part number 4, as I said, it does feel like you are individuals that might have experienced some form of like heartbreak in the past. But the other thing that I did pick up, and that was with the Queen of Pentacles, is a lot you may, okay, and this is like totally normal, and this is again trying not to trigger anyone or anything. You might be someone who is kind of financially really good or really well off, or you know, you're very financially stable and secure. A huge part of you might put your value, or the idea of your value, in that, as opposed to you are valued just for who you are. Again, as I said, I did feel like you had been hurt before. So something, I do bring up my friends a lot in this, because, you know, there are quite a few of them are kind of single anyway. But this is definitely something a couple of my friends actually tend to do, and it's because they were high achievers. They were super successful women, okay? And because they were very super successful women, they really, you know, they're all bringing in that money. They're buying up all that Prada and Chanel and whatever, okay? A huge part of that is that they put their value in the idea of that's who they are, okay? And a lot of like my friends or these girls or these women, is that they then it's kind of like that success and all of that it tends to come, what I like to sort of say is it kind of comes from the idea of like, well, because of this I am high valued, so therefore da 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 da, like, you know, I will their standards have like gone to a point where it's not even actually standards, it's just, you know, it's coming from like these places of almost being hurt from individuals in the past who they may have got hurt or felt vulnerable, or, you know. And I always tell them, I mean, this is like a huge message that I tend to send out to everyone. I always tell them, you know, you want to have like a loving and amazing and healthy relationship. I know that and I can see that. But because you kind of experience, you know, this individual from your past, you're kind of preventing yourself from receiving love, and you rather not do that. You're building like this kind of self-esteem from this place of ego. And because it's like getting higher and higher, these walls are getting so high, you're not letting anyone or anything in. And I was like, and if you want to break those walls down so you can actually allow yourself to receive love and have love, you know, you do need to forgive those individuals who have hurt you in the past, who really messed up, who really effed up. But at the same time, it's forgiving yourself for holding those emotions in your energy body, that resentment, that anger, that hurt, that pain. Because if you don't let go of those emotions, it's almost like it's going to, you know, it builds up like this wall, but that wall is being built from the place of the ego. So it kind of stops you from receiving love. So another message I do feel here is, remember that you are valuable just the way that you are. It doesn't come from the things around you. You will be blessed. I feel like you already are actually very blessed abundantly with all your heart's desires in terms of the materialistic side of things. The heart, we have Archangel Raphael here, and Raphael is again a beautiful archangel to work with in terms of you know, energy clearings or healings, because really does do magnificent, amazing heart healing. It's particularly with individuals who've hurt. So if you do want to work with Archangel Raphael to help you let go and forgive, like he does help you, you know, dive in there to kind of help you release those old emotions that you may have been holding from the past, so that you can free yourself, so that you don't feel like you're restricting yourself, so you can free yourself, so you can express yourself most authentically, most powerfully, so from a place that's genuine and sincere and from the heart. And when you can do that, you're going to allow yourself to really receive love, which I really feel is like the message here. And they want you to receive love. They know that you're a bit of a manifester, but you know, they want you to receive the love that you know yourself you are worthy and deserving of having. So yeah, I'm going to pull out some more cards. Okay, we do have mysticism here. Let's pull out some of these cards as well. We have direction, find aim in your life. Oh, and we do have heart matters. Okay. And let's pull out some love cards. We have playing the field. Somebody is not ready to settle down. Too much fun playing in the field. Just be careful with your sexuality. We have transitional love. You're attracting a relationship that serves as a transitional role. Could be perfect to pass the time. And then we also have toxic love, which is a love interest will seem to bring out the worst in you, but you can't seem to stay away from each other. Okay. Okay, so part number 4. Let's talk about direction and heart matters, because I absolutely love kind of these messages, which is guiding, unfolding, wandering, lost, slow, progress, restless, quest, find aim in your life. Heart matters, don't settle, excitement, desires, spark, enjoyment, follow your heart, find your true passion. And I always say, actually, you know, with the heart matters, find your true passion, find your aim in life. Okay? doesn't necessarily always have to respond into certain terms of like career or career path, etc. But it does indicate doing something that does bring you joy and does bring you happiness. With the mysticism card, that does indicate to me that you could be someone who is very spiritual, who is very psychic, or you could be a healer yourself. And you're kind of finding yourself in these sort of like situations in love matters. Okay, if you are a healer and you are a light worker and you chose pile number 4, you might have to kind of sit down with your inner light worker and ask your inner light worker to stop choosing individuals who need healing. Because you might be choosing individuals who need healing, and as such, your energy is just getting massively drained. When you sit there and you tell your inner light worker, here's your new rule, like you're no longer taking on individuals who need healing. You're now going to be choosing partners that are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, materially profitable for you in all ways. You know, you'll then choose and attract individuals that are in alignment with what you're asking for. Okay. Because, you know, I kind of remember, like, I found myself in one of those situations where I just kept choosing individuals that were like broken or like just needed healing and were like really annoying. And I was, at some point, I got so fed up. I was like, enough, I'm done with this kind of needing to heal people and then me being just being energetically drained. Like, I then just kind of sat there and was like, light worker inside of me, like, I'm only going to have individuals who are profitable for me, and, you know, if they want healing or if they want like energy clearings or whatever, they can pay for it. But if no one's paying for it, they're not getting it. like that was the rule. Like, unless I received something, they were not going to have access to my energy like that. So because I set that rule, then what I started to notice is that I started to attract individuals who were, of course, energetically profitable for me in all ways. And that felt better. It suddenly felt like I wasn't getting drained. I suddenly felt like my energy was just, you know, like there were individuals just adding energy into my life. Didn't mean my family got cut off. I mean, yeah, I moved across the other side of the ocean. So, yes. Like, but do you see, like that, like your energy is so valuable, and so many amazing things can happen when you decide to be very cutthroat almost with your own energy and go, I'm no longer doing this, I'm doing this, and then the universe has to correspond to that. So yeah, if you are someone who's like, you know what, I'm not really interested in being in a long-term relationship and playing the field suits me, there you go. Like, then fair enough. That's absolutely fine. If, however, you are being like, you know, I do want to have that family and I do want to have the relationship, I do want to have, you know, I want to have it all, and you're finding yourself in these kind of situations, then it's just, like I said, it feels like it would just be a case of you needing to reflect back on some of the previous relationships and learning to forgive individuals so that you can create a relationship that's from like a fresh page or a fresh start, fresh chapter. Okay, one that's never going to pull in those energies from the past. Okay. So yeah, I really do love this reading. I am going to pull out some loving angel messages, because I find angel messages to be wonderful, to be incredible, to be beautiful, because they really are, and they're very loving and they're very kind, and I feel like everyone should receive that in the end of their reading. Just loving, kind, and wonderful messages from the angels with guidance on your path. So yeah, let's have a look and see what we have for you. We do have Teresa, which is time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, okay. I did say it felt like you wanted this, but here we go. We've got Rosetta, and that is, you have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping, teaching, or parenting children. Okay, so there we go. Oh my goodness, why are they like flying today? Ooh. Another message about children. I did feel like that was actually something, pile number 4, if you chose, then children is something that felt like a very strong heart's desire for you. We do have your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. Okay. Oh, that is way too many. Okay, but I'm going to give you all of it because obviously it wanted to. So we have it, take action. You're in touch with your truth in the situation and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. We have Ariel, new psychic spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open up through study, prayer and meditation. And then we have faith and hope because there is something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see yet. See? And I feel like that was a really beautiful message to kind of end this reading today. And I really do hope it does fill you in with that hope, because when I read this energy, it did feel like, there was this kind of want for children and the happy long-term relationship. And it feels that it's beautiful that, your angels and your guides and your spirit team are already working in the background to kind of bring forth what it is that you want into your life. So yeah, I do feel like these are all my messages for you, pile number 4. Yeah, and I feel like that's the message you needed to hear. And yeah, until next time, bye.